President of South Africa, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa.
We will look at ties between Zimbabwe and Singapore, which are set to transform the long-standing friendship between the two countries.
And in sport, Zimbabwe under-14 football team boys thump Eswatini 3-0. That and more in sport.
Our leading story, the country's tobacco industry is set for a major boost after President Emmerson Mnangagwa hinted on a new policy for tobacco financing. Our diplomatic correspondent, Josephine Mugio, has our first report.
As government continuously works on bolstering the country's agricultural sector, the launch of the productivity booster kits by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Mazoe this Monday is not only expected to enhance the production of cereals but encompass tobacco farming. With a $2 billion United States dollar fund set to be rolled over the next 10 years, President Mnangagwa announced that A1 farmers who are into tobacco farming will also benefit from the initiative, which comes with domestic funding for the agriculture sector.
These productivity booster kits will also be made available to smallholder tobacco farmers to localize the procurement of farming equipment and other aspects of the tobacco value chain. Tafunga kuti atingavasi kunze naivo vanhu vedu tinovabatsira. To support the program, technical service centers will be established in each of the 10 provinces of our country to advise and serve our farmers. These centers will be run and operated by banks, which will provide 5 functional services, which include tillage services, technical extension services, irrigation and mechanization services, harvest and post-harvest services, and monitoring and evaluation services.
During the record 2025 tobacco marketing season, farmers raked in over $1 billion United States dollars after delivering more than 350 million kilograms. Observers believe the value could have been more had it not been for the obtaining situation where foreign capital is funding production of the golden leaf. President Mnangagwa also revealed that 5 banks have committed to providing additional working capital for boosting the agricultural sector. He highlighted that A1 farmers are expected to make significant contribution to the national gross domestic product in the next few years.
It is envisaged that once capacitated, A1 farmers will be producing in excess of 10 million tons of cereal grain per annum. Already, that tells you tinenge tawa ni surplus. Resultantly, A1 farmers alone will be contributing an extra $6.14 billion US dollars to the agricultural sector GDP, with an excess of almost $2 billion in household disposable income. Guided and inspired by our national development philosophy, Nika Inovakwa Igotongwa Igonamatirwa. Hallelujah.
Zimbabwe, like many other countries, is facing the threat of food insecurity due to climate change, which has increased the risk of drought. It is in this light that the Second Republic has gone all out to climate-proof the country's agriculture sector. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News.
Government's comprehensive review of license fees and taxes continues with focus on the tourism sector to increase investments. These are some of the resolutions that were announced by the Minister of Information and Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Moswere, during this Tuesday's post-cabinet media briefing.
Welcome to our 25th post-cabinet press briefing, 26th of August 2025.
The 25th post-cabinet media briefing took place here at Mtapa offices in Harare, and good news to players in the tourism and hospitality industry in terms of the ease of doing business. The Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Moswere, announced that business fees and levies in this industry will be cut by up to 50% in order to improve business competitiveness.
Players in the hospitality, catering, tour guides and operators, boating services and vehicle rental services value chains, which were operating under a choking regulatory environment. The review was undertaken to remove identified unjustifiable licenses and permits, levies and fees, streamline duplicative and overlapping licenses and permits.
For example, grading fees have been costing about $500 to $700. It's been cut by a specific amount that is by half.
The Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli, added that this process is going to drive business competitiveness and is going to be done in a comprehensive manner to respond to the concerns by the private sector.
With our National Competitiveness Center has been able to do some very informative research which shows that these fees really have raised the cost of doing business. They render our industry uncompetitive regionally and also globally. So it's clear that any reduction that we embark on, meaningful reduction, is going to improve our competitiveness. Now, in terms of how far we're willing to go, I mean, you heard earlier the response that in terms of these fees, we've got reductions of the order of somewhere, it would range from between sort of 25% to 50%.
Dr. Moswere announced that this year's edition of the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show will be officially opened on Friday by the South African President, His Excellency, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa.
The show is running under the theme, Building Bridges, Connecting Agriculture, Industry and Commerce. The show is organized around 5 sections, namely agri-produce, tobacco, cotton, livestock and commercial exhibition. Foreign participants from South Africa, Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, Ghana, Nigeria, Pakistan and China are exhibiting at this year's event. The show will be officially opened by His Excellency the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, this Friday.
Cabinet also considered President Emmerson Mnangagwa's visit to Japan to the Tokyo International Conference on Africa Development, TICAD, which was described as fruitful.
His Excellency the President Dr. Idi Mnangagwa held bilateral meetings with Prime Minister of Japan, the World Food Programme, Ms. Cindy McCain. WFP is willing to consider Zimbabwe as a regional pioneer hub for grain, and the United Nations Development Programme Acting Administrator, Mr. Howling Shu, aimed at deepening bilateral cooperation across strategic sectors, including agriculture, health, mining, technology, trade, and investment. His Excellency the President delivered a statement during the economy session highlighting key priorities for Africa as well as Zimbabwe's development. He invited Japanese companies to partner with Africa in harnessing critical minerals for new energy value chains through technology and skills transfer. The Peace and Stability session addressed conflict resolution, violent extremism, good governance, and the role of women and youth in peace building.
A cabinet also discussed the President Emmerson Mnangagwa's recent attendance of the Southern Heads of States and Government Summit in Madagascar.
Right. Owen Mandova there with that report. Now, Zimbabwe is stepping up efforts to strengthen trade and investment ties with India as the country prepares to participate at the 20th India-Africa Business Conclave in New Delhi, starting tomorrow.
After 2 days of high-level business engagements in Surat, Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga is now in the Indian capital, where Africa's most influential investment and trade forum kicks off tomorrow. The visit to Gujarati saw the Vice President touring top diamond cutting and polishing companies, as well as the Agricultural Produce Market Committee and Sumo Dairy. The engagements highlighted Zimbabwe's intent to move from raw exports to local beneficiation and smallholder-based agro-processing.
One of the main things that we saw and which we had known before, but we had to go and see it ourselves, is the area of diamond beneficiation, which is one of our minerals that we are mining in Zimbabwe. We now know that for every 10 diamonds cut and polished in this world, 9 are cut and polished in Gujarat, in Surat. We are mining diamonds already in Zimbabwe. And when we were there, it was quite disappointing that our diamonds are being sold through third parties.
To the India-Africa Business Conclave, Vice President Chiwenga is accompanied by the Minister of Skills Audit and Development, Professor Paul Mavima, Deputy Minister of Health and Child Care, Honorable Slayman Kwidini, Deputy Minister of Higher and Tertiary Science and Technology Development, Honorable Smilisizwe Sibanda, and other senior government officials. The Vice President says Zimbabwe is determined to shift from dialogue to action by prioritizing practical, implementable projects that will drive tangible economic growth and foster sustainable partnerships.
Why would we, like, as an example, export cotton here? I think what we need to do is to both of us to develop the cotton lint which we would want, that length, that long lint which we would want, and then they come. We get their expertise and we train our own people, and they do, just like what we would want them to do in diamonds.
The 3-day event hosted by the Confederation of Indian Industry will feature sessions on agriculture and food processing, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, infrastructure, energy and mining, as well as digital partnerships and skills development. The stage is now set for concrete agreements that could redefine Zimbabwe's trade footprint in India. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, New Delhi.
Back home, Zimbabwe has registered a milestone for milk production after a record 10 million litres in July this year. The statistics were revealed at the ongoing Zimbabwe Agricultural Show in Harare this Tuesday.
Statistics are released at the ongoing Zimbabwe Agricultural Show indicates an increase in terms of overall milk production, with July registering an all-time high on a month-to-month basis. From an average monthly low of at least 6 million litres in the past 4 years, the July output has set a record as Zimbabwe seeks milk self-sufficiency. The data shows that Zimbabwe is on course to achieving over 120 million litres this year from an average of 80 million litres as producers reap the benefits of government interventions and development partner support. Dairy industry specialist Dr. Nathaniel Makoni reviewed the commitment by industry to maintain the current growth trajectory.
We have actually been increasing our production. If you compare from last year 2024 to this year 2025, we see July has been a peak month with over 10 million litres of milk produced and less than 10 million, about 9 million in 2024. So it shows that the farmers are at it, they are working very hard, and the improvement is the highest we have ever had.
Zimbabwe Association of Dairy Farmers Monitoring and Evaluation Officer Mr. Tapiwana Shedewa explained that the impact of increased milk production in facilitating the availability of the commodity in the country's retail and wholesale markets, leading to price stability for the benefit of consumers.
It also creates employment and also creates wealth for the farmers. Yes, they will be getting more money. For our processors, they will get more milk for processing. That's also increasing their income as a processing company. And also for the farmer, it also gives them more money to increase in their head size and also improvement of their assets.
Zimbabwe has to date surpassed the January to July milk production figures after the entry of new players in the market increased the capacity and restored business confidence. Government, the private sector and development partner interventions in terms of the revival of the dairy industry are in motion, as evidenced by an increase in milk production, a move that is expected to ease the import bill for the commodity. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Now the government is walking the talk in the inclusive development agenda, with contractors now on site to commence tar surfacing of the Odzimarange Road in Manicaland province.
With the 6-kilometer stretch from Riverside to Odzi Shopping Center having been a nightmare for transport operators and travelers, news of the rehabilitation of not just the short stretch but the entire road from Odzi to Marange has brought joy to the local community.
Turikutenda nebasa rubatwa panapa rekugadzirwa kwemugwagwa unobva Riverside kubata Marange. Road ino yanga yakatinyangare zvakanyanya, asi turikutenda neurongwa hwapresident wedu, President E.D. Mnangagwa weNew Dispensation, kuti paVision 2030 nzvimbo dzedu dzichange dzamira zvakanaka.
Kufara zvakanyanyisa ngekuti road iyo yanga yane makore, asi nekuda kwaHonorable Admire Mahachi zvinhu zvedu zvese tikona zviri kufamba zvakanaka.
Road yanga yashata zvisikaiti zvokuti mota dzedu dzadziri kufa, mashoko kudai totenga every 2-3 months.
So maminers tinoona kutransportwa zvinhu zvedu zvakanaka tichisvika panzvimbo in time, tichifamba zvakanaka mukugadzirawo mabasa edu. Tinotenda zvikuru nevari kutibatsira.
Mutare North Development Committee Chairperson Reverend Togara Mapingure and Legislator Honorable Admire Mahachi are equally excited about the latest development, which fulfills President Emmerson Mnangagwa's promise of inclusive development.
I would like to thank our President, His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, for fulfilling what he has always said. Leaving no places behind, leaving no one behind.
Tenda kukurusa kuna president wa Mnangagwa nekuti vandudzira mugwagwa unoyu uchiswa white tar. Road ineyi inobatsira zvikurusa vagari veMutare North nekuti ndiyo road hombe inolinga Mutare North ichibata kuenda zvakare kuMutare West, ndio inobata zvakare kuenda kuBhoera, ndio inoenda futi kuheadquarters kweJohani Marange kwamafararikwa.
Residents are hopeful that the rehabilitation of Odzimarange Road will unlock new business opportunities. Kenias Chifuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
The Majiwa community of Zhishavane has been capacitated with a viable tool to ensure food security in the face of climate change, and this comes after a successful completion of a weir dam in the area.
Of perennial crop failure and rampant livestock deaths are now a thing of the past for more than 1,000 households in Kudo village of Zhishavane district after the construction of a weir dam in the area. The 2-kilometer dam will promote all year-round crop production and sustainable livestock farming in the face of climate change.
Community yedu tadza kuwana imwe mvura, mapoles yedu they are no longer bearing water. You know there is much depletion yemvura mumapoles, groundwater iri kuenda. Saka this dam riri kunoshanda zvikurusa, ndiona nyangwe ngoro dziri kutora mvura, vanhu vari kukwanisa kuti zvifuwo zvavo zviwane mvura. Mbudzi hadzichaendi kure,wadzaifamba about 10 kilometers kunharunde, dzaakutomwa pano padhuze. Vanhu vari kubetsereka, vari kurima nezvipfuwo zvedu zviri kubetserekawo futi zvepanapa.
Agronomist Mr. Vusimusi Mukanga is confident the weir dam will address food security challenges.
Kuna tuku community yakukwanisika kubatsiridzika kuti vanhu vemunharaunda
vange vachita ma-irrigation schemes.
Construction of foyer dams is not only meant to improve access to water, but enhance food and nutrition security, promote climate resilience, and empower women and youths. Karajushe, ZBC News, Swishawane.
Right, you're going to find that story and a whole lot more when you go to our website, which is www.zbcnews.co.zw. And you can also find more stories and latest live updates that is on social media. All you need to do is to go on Facebook, on X, Instagram, and even on YouTube. You just type in ZBC News Online.
All right, now for stories still to come in this bulletin. Zimbabwe-Singapore ties to transform long-standing friendship. And in sport, Zimbabwe under-14 football team boys thump Eswatini 3-0. And we'll give you that and more in sport. And we take a break. Stay with us.
The Chinhoyi University of Technology 21st graduation ceremony will take place on Thursday, 28 August 2025 at the CAT Sports Grounds, starting at 900 hours. All graduates, their parents, guardians and guests are kindly requested to be seated by 800 hours, running under the theme Leveraging Heritage-Based Technology for the Consolidation of National Development Milestones. The ceremony will be broadcast live on ZBC TV and will also be live streamed on the CAT website and Facebook page. All invited graduates must attend rehearsals on Wednesday, 27th August 2025 at the graduation venue from 1400 hours. Academic regalia can be purchased at the main campus and Harare office. Congratulations, Makurukuto Amflope.
Be part of the 2025 ZBC Golf Day. Join us on 12 September at Chapman Golf Club for an exclusive networking event bringing together ZBC executives, industry leaders, and key stakeholders, all while supporting a worthy cause. The ZBC Golf Day raises funds for a CSR initiative. This year's funds will pay school fee for underprivileged children in 10 rural schools across Zimbabwe. We have a variety of sponsorship and partnership packages available. For more information, contact Thelma on 0776 413 261.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We continue with the main news bulletin. 45 years after the country attained independence, there are calls to fast-track and conclude the exhumation and reburial of freedom fighters thrown in mass graves, mine shafts and shallow graves across the country. And we get more details from our Manicaland Bureau Chief, Kenyas Chivuje.
An emotional journey which comes with the necessary closure after walking back into history to recover the remains of Liberation War heroes and heroines. At the center of the process is Chief Exhumer Joyce Mulilo, who is believed to be guided by spirit mediums to locate long forgotten and unmarked graves, as well as identifying the deceased by name and origin.
Ndinoona nezvokuti comrade uyu mwana wekwani ende chiri kuita kuti zviitike izvozvo zvakatanga nasekuru wangu wariwo mucomrade vanga vakafira kwazvimba anonzi Masuku ndivo vanoita basa iroro. Panguva yacho ndiye anobuda achiita basa iri.
War veteran retired Colonel John Mutasa and Comrade Gift Kagweda, who is the chairperson of the Manicaland Identification, Verification, Exhumation and Reburial of Fallen Heroes Trust, added their voices on the spiritual side of the exhumation process.
I witnessed mwanu wachibudirwa pano. Munhu akafa anobudirwa achitaura zita rake, achitaura zita rababa wake, mutupo wake, sabhuku wake, ishe wake, mambo wake, achitaura kuti inini ndinoigwa kumusha wakati. Wabereki wacho wachisvika tichiona wachiidentify vanhu vacho ivavo.
Tina chief exhumer nevati kuti maspectors vanhu vanohakirwa nemacomrades. Comrade anongobuda ega pana chief exhumer wozitaura iyi.
The process has earned the trust of families, many of whom had lost hope of decent burial for their loved ones.
Kanzi kwakauya masvikiro akabva kwaakabva akati uyai kuno, hanzadzi yangu mwe ndiye akauya akanzi wazofukunurwa, saka ndokuidentify kwaakaitwa akanzi wenyu uyu. Iye hanzadzi yangu akati ndakafambawo kwandakafamba zvikanzwa maudzwa izvozvo ndizvozvo.
Takabva kwedu tichizwa kuti ndiye chai akatanga program iyi ndinoda kuatenda ndikuzotenda zvemasvikiro nekuti vakazoya kuno first ndibaba munini vakangonzwa masita achimbotaurwa natete Gladson nani vakadosa zveshe munhu ndiye indikabva nangoti inini kandasvika ndichamuona kuti ndiye.
While spiritual guidance is deeply respected, there are also calls to complement it with scientific methods such as DNA testing. Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Makoni.
Right, we continue to pay tribute to our heroes in this month of heroes. Let's now cross over to our Montreal studios, and Memory is on standby with more news. Memory, great to see you as always.
Good evening to you, Patla. Thank you very much, and good evening to the viewers at home. Moving on with the bulletin, the ZANU-PF Youth League is taking a peer education approach in fighting drug and substance abuse.
The ruling party's Youth League staged a sports seminar in Bulawayo this Tuesday to educate young people on the dangers of drug and substance abuse. Over 100 youths attended the seminar.
It was quite an exciting event for us as youths. A lot of youth participated in this thing, and it gave us a power, la mandla, lenchugunchu. I urge amanye youth who are outside abayenza izinto zonezo zama-drugs ukuthi wherever they are, they must be motivated by us.
The initiative yabantu abatsha, it's something from the youth for the youth. So okay, at least there's an initiative to stop abantwana from using drugs and substance.
The ruling party is complementing government efforts amid clarity that fighting the social ill is a collective responsibility.
We thought it would be wise that we also take charge or be on the forefront in the fight against drugs, because they are only not a threat to the Youth League or to the youth in Zimbabwe, they are also a threat to national security. So we thought it would be just wise that we take this awareness around Bulawayo.
His Excellency the President, during the launch of the Drugs and Substance Plan, said that there is no nation which will develop in totality if a portion of its citizens is addicted to drugs. In this regard, the scourge of drug and substance abuse has to be dealt with decisively as we march towards Vision 2030.
Drug and substance abuse has become a significant public health and national security challenge, as well as a potential threat to the country's development trajectory. Lisa Correa, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The public is heritage-based university education with human capital priorities in the public to build a skilled and adaptive workforce for national development.
Delivering a public lecture at Great Zimbabwe University in Masvingo, Chairperson of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Vincent Hungwe, challenged the institutions of higher learning to move beyond traditional knowledge transfer and become dynamic ecosystems that produce graduates ready to lead, innovate, and meaningfully contribute to public service.
Universities like Great Zimbabwe University must transcend the traditional role of knowledge dissemination to become dynamic ecosystems, laboratories of leadership, incubators of ethical governance, and to put strategic partners in national transformation.
Dr. Hungwe also spoke on the importance of strategic partnerships between the academia and the public sector.
As the Public Service Commission, we fully recognize that the future of our public sector hinges on our capacity to nurture a workforce that is not only technically competent, but also responsive, agile, and forward-looking in the face of complex and ever-evolving national challenges.
Great Zimbabwe University Vice-Chancellor Professor Rungano Zobgo said the institution is ready for sustainable collaborations.
We are guided by the Heritage-Based Education 5.0 philosophy. This is more than just a model. It is a commitment to ensuring that our graduates are not only knowledgeable, but also innovative and deeply rooted in our national heritage.
The public lecture sparked a lively discussion, with students actively posing questions and inquiring about the operations of the Public Service Commission. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
A new study by the Scientific and Industrial Research and Development Center has revealed that partitioned buildings are playing a growing role in supporting the operations of micro, small and medium enterprises, a sector that is critical to the country's economic growth and employment creation.
The study, which was conducted in a period of 12 months, had respondents that include micro to small medium enterprises, tenants, building owners, municipal experts and customers. From the study, it emerged that partition buildings have emerged as key enablers of economic activity in Zimbabwe, providing critical operating space for micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, particularly women and youth-led enterprises in sectors such as fast-moving consumer goods and apparel. Speaking in Blah this Tuesday, CIDIC Director Dr. Fumon Kwaramba said the findings point to the urgency of balancing opportunities with challenges if MSMEs are to continue driving national development.
We have realized that this particular area and sector and services is dominated by women, about 67%. And we also realize that the products that are being traded are also imports. We also realize that there are challenges with the rental areas. What we also realize is that most of those operators are generating savings, are using their savings to actually capitalize. And we are simply saying financial houses could also come in to try and intervene.
The research recommended deliberate investment in urban infrastructure, adoption of self-renovation standards, fire safety training, increased use of solar power, and a stronger role for the rent board in addressing rental disputes. In response to the findings, representatives of the micro to small medium enterprises sector underscored the report's importance for future policy.
Our approach would be we use the results as a way of planning. We plan forward. What can we take from the results which can actually positively impact on the SMEs?
To the ministry and also to the government, it's a breakthrough in the sense that we're going to get the proper statistics.
As Zimbabwe marches towards the attainment of Vision 2030, the research further highlights that supporting the micro to small medium enterprises sector through sustainable operating models such as partition buildings will be critical in driving inclusive growth, productivity and job creation. Hiland Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
ZANU-PF Women's League members in Mutasa district have reaffirmed their commitment to growing the party through the economic development agenda. This came out during an inter-district meeting in Mutasa to welcome provincial chairperson Comrade Dorothy Mabika, who assumed the leadership position recently.
The ZANU-PF Women's League inter-district meeting held in Mutasa recently celebrated a new era of unity, with women reaffirming their commitment to growing the party's support base and contribute towards the attainment of Vision 2030.
President Shakar vakapa muono Vision 2030 ndo irudivisa base patita tikashtarisaka taungofamba Vision 2030 zvese zviende zvakanaka kusvika Vision 2030 yachisvika.
Madzimai taona variyo ndombi dzemusangano dzinosvitsa kuti Vision 2030 irambe iripo.
Chitendazo chairlady wedu Mai Mabika vauya mashoko avatipa atisimudzira semadzimai handifuni kuti kutaurwa mudzimai achagarira maoko. Mai Mabika chairlady vanga vachikurudzira madzimai kuti vachengetedze musangano weZANU-PF, kuti vadifende ZANU-PF, vadifende president.
ZANU-PF Women's League chairperson for Manicaland Province, Comrade Dorothy Mabika, says the meeting focused on strengthening the party and rallying women towards supporting Vision 2030.
Tava nenguva yakanaka kuno kwaMutasa district patiri kutenderera tichisangana nemadzimai tichitaura nema-empowerment projects, tichitaura nekuti nyika inovakwa nevane vayo igotongwa igonamatirwa nevane vayo. Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, highlighted vast opportunities available for women in Mutasa district, while also outlining a number of empowerment initiatives being spearheaded by the Second Republic.
President Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa vakaona kuti tanga tichingofira mahara nekuti tikakowa mabhanana edu totakura achinda kure ora dzimwe nhamo mungowana kamari kashoma, vamwe vari pamusika vanongotengesa madhora kwahonde ndati kune muchina uriko, handiti uchauya kuzovhurwa nevakuru ikoko. Muchina uyu chairlady uchagadzira banana oil, banana chips, banana flour, banana yogurt.
As the Women's League gears up to play a stronger role in party mobilization and development, the upcoming ZANU-PF National People's Conference to be held in Mutare this October is expected to honor the best three provinces which have excelled in mobilizing new members to join the party. Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutasa.
And that story taking us back to our team at Pockets Hill with the rest of the bulletin. Good evening.
Stuff. Thanks a lot, Memory there, and the entire team at our Montrose studios. Now, the country's education sector has received huge impetus with 9 schools under construction in Shamva district. This coming after a deliberate decision to leverage rich mineral resources in the area to establish schools and other high social impact projects.
Learners in this remote and mountainous area of Mount Do, Shamva district used to walk long distances in search of schools, but all this will be in the past due to the construction of a new school. Construction of the new school has generated excitement among parents whose children were enduring an average of 15 kilometers to get to the nearest school.
Saka vana vedu vaingoramba vachimbeya mumabawa, but nekuda kwechikoro ichi chavakwa ichi nehama yedu iyi Magora akangotiwo mirai ndivake chikoro, sezvo president ari kuramba achingokurudzira kuti aiwa nyika inovakwa nevene vayo.
Ndakabereka mwana ane 30 years ndiri muno. Vana ava takanga tine dambudziko rakakura pakuenda kuzvikoro. Ndofunga vaifamba 25 kilometers, 20 kilometers kuenda iri primary.
9 new schools are currently under development in Shamva district, in a development which Shamva South legislator Honorable Joseph Mapiki attributes to miners plowing back to their community.
Ndakabatana nevabereki tiri kutsvaga vari kuita ma-investment kuno. Vazhinji vacho vari kuchera. Tiri kutsvaga ma-foreigners nema-local people vari kuchera. Togara navo pasi nemakanzera nevabereki. Tovaudza kuti aiwa ngatiti vabereki vanobvira unokuku ivo vachibvira unokuku.
Mount Do AB mine operator William Magora, who is funding the school construction project, thanked government for creating a conducive business operating environment.
Chakaita kuti ndizowaka chikoro inyaya yekuona kuti kwaiendwa kuchikoro nevana kwanga kuri kure, saka kuti titakure vana mudzimota vachienda kuchikoro nenyaya dzekumaina unogona kuzonza atakura mwana pamwe mheno zvaari kuda kuita. Saka takaona kuti zviri nani panzvimbo yekuvatakura kuvavakira chikoro padhuze.
Schools under construction in the mining district of Shamba include Ritokwe Primary School being built by Canterbury Mining and set for commissioning next month. There is also Mandimu Secondary funded by cement maker PPC, Masunzwe Secondary, Sangoramambo Primary, Shingai, Chiraramo and Muyu primary schools.
The deliberate move to leverage rich mineral resources to enhance development could be a game changer for Shamba's growth trajectory. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Shamba.
Vice President Comrade Kembo Mohadi has called on Zimbabweans to cherish the sacrifice made by freedom fighters during the liberation struggle by attaining economic independence.
This is Mukushi Girls Camp in the heart of Kabwe, Central Province of Zambia. The site was established in 1977 as a training camp for young female Zipra combatants. The camp was, however, bombed by Rhodesia forces on the 19th of October 1978, with about 1,000 people losing their lives. This Tuesday, Vice President Kembo Mohadi visited the site where 11 mass graves lie. Having lost a brother who trained and protected the young girls during the camp, it was an emotional visit for Comrade Mohadi. Once a soldier, always a soldier. Vice President Mohadi traverses the bushes that were once a training camp, sites where the girls would stand at attention during training, the bunkers they hid in, and the trenches used to move information and people out of danger. As he toured, he came across bullet cartridges used during the attacks still lying on the grounds of the camp. Some bones of those killed can also be seen at Mukushi camp, along with remnants of the kitchen they used and medical supplies of what was once a clinic. Feeling energized, Vice President Mohadi says this remains a must push Zimbabweans to fight against the Bretton Woods institutions towards total economic emancipation.
I'm reliving my olden days. I feel younger and I feel like going on to fight again. This time fighting the Bretton Woods institutions. That is economic independence, which those boys, the boys and girls that lie there, did not have the chance to. They fought for political emancipation, and we got it, that's fine. But we still have got a very, 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 very long fight, long haul. That's economic freedom, economic emancipation. And we would want to take with you people, because we're bringing you here so that you realize what kind of sacrifice other people did. You must also sacrifice yourself to go hungry one day or so to make sure that Zimbabwe is economically independent.
During the tour, Chief Kanyencha revealed that he has given the land that houses the camp to the Zimbabwean government for conservation efforts as well as developing the area.
This whole area has to be fenced. Not just there where we buried our people. Because everything that they were making, it's history.
Comrade Mohadi will also visit Mulungushi Camp and St. Mary's Cemetery in Kabwe, where 14 of the 15 Zambian police officers were killed trying to save the girls at Mukushi Camp were buried. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Kabwe.
Elsewhere, the governance crisis at the Harare City Council has reached alarming levels, exposed through heavily dilapidated sewer infrastructure, pumping millions of water of raw sewer into the environment daily.
An unfolding crisis that is facing the capital city, one reflecting serious lethargy and governance gaps at the city of Harare. This is one of the major raw sewer trunks for the capital, yet the local authorities have turned a blind eye to this environmental catastrophe. The raw sewage has been diverted and now flows into the nearby Mukwezi River, one of the tributary sources leading to Lake Chivero.
So what we are seeing is significant impact to our river ecosystems, Manyame River, Nyatsime, and eventually our Lake Chivero.
Experts dread a repeat of the Lake Chivero environmental disaster, where raw effluent affected the water body and aquatic life last year. Even then, residents in Harare and Chitungwiza are sitting inches from a health disaster.
Mwari ari kutichengeta zvinoshamisa nokuti I think by now tingadai tisisipo muri kungozviona.
Legislators responsible for environment, climate and wildlife are equally shocked by the extent of the environmental disaster.
Tirikuona kuti nyaya yemasuwa tinogona kuti declare yaita national disaster nekuti hazina kumira zvakanaka. Korera tangati atinofunga kuti tinogona kuikontrola zvakasimba zvakadai zvinhu zvinogona kutinetsa.
A sub-sewer treatment station in Budiriro is now almost mothballed. Yet Harare City Council executives enjoy heavy packs, running into monthly salaries of 30,000 United States dollars for the town clerk and 15,000 United States dollars for a lowly paid executive, according to the findings in the recently completed Harare Commission of Inquiry. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, hundreds of people from Bikita and Gutu districts are benefiting from the Scaling Up a Resilience program that has been implemented by the government in partnership with the Zimbabwe Council of Churches with its international partners.
Ms. Revai Muchena is among beneficiaries of the Scale Up Resilience program, focusing on climate-smart farming, gender equality and community-driven initiatives. After undergoing an intensive training program, Ms. Muchena has embarked on conservation farming, where she is growing traditional grains alongside poultry projects.
Pakurima kwangu kumashure uku zvazvakadzakira. Taiona sokuti tikatorima nemombe tineta tarerutsa 1 pasimba rangu 2 pamaonero kungoti ndakasira kutorima asi hazvina zvazvaitibatsira. Saka izvezvi ndinoona sokuti pava nemusiyano wakanyanya.
The project has benefited many who are now able to fend for their families.
Mukurima mea takadzidziswa zvekumulcha precise operation zvokuti tinofanira kuita zvinhu zvedu nenguva ndezvimwe zvezviga zvatakadzidziswa.
Kuchera kunoitwa makomba uku nekurimwa kwembeu dzetsangadiki dzinoda mvura shoma zvinhu zvatinoona zviri kudavirwa nevagari venzvimbo ino.
The success of the program has attracted the attention of Canada's top envoy to Zimbabwe, Ambassador Adler Aristide, who was in Gutu and Bikita to witness the accomplishment.
This is a new project that is in this community trying to improve livelihood, resilience of farmers, and also helping address gender issues, having women empowered to contribute just as much to their households.
These are some of the efforts of the work that we are doing in this province to make sure that we uplift the livelihood of the people, and also we complement government efforts in trying to make sure that our country is self-sufficient and the people in our communities are assisted.
Government and its partners are implementing various programs in rural communities to promote industrialization and improve livelihoods. Ms. Matina, ZBC News, Bikita.
Right, we're off to a break. When we come back, we'll look at business news. We also have the arts, and later on, Anashe Murumbedzi will be bringing us sport.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
If you drink, be responsible. The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is pleased to announce the opening of a new office at the Zimbabwe Agricultural Office Showgrounds. This new office has been established for your convenience, making it easier than ever to pay for your radio and television licenses. By visiting this office, you will also help us reduce congestion at our other centers. Remember, Your license is not just a requirement, it is an investment in keeping Zimbabwe's voice on air, promoting local content and preserving our cultural heritage. Don't get stuck in the crowd. Slide through to the Agricultural Office, Showgrounds, and keep the airwaves alive.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We now give you the business news. Zimbabwe is seeking to turn its long-standing friendship with Singapore into stronger economic ties. This was revealed when Zimbabwe's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Murwira, met with his Singaporean counterpart, Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, on the sidelines of the 5th Singapore-Africa Ministerial Exchange visit this Tuesday. And Stanley James gives us the details.
For years, Zimbabwe and Singapore have shared warm political relations. The two countries are now exploring ways to build on that goodwill and translate it into tangible business opportunities. Zimbabwe's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Murwira, met with his Singapore counterpart, Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, on the sidelines of the 5th Singapore Africa Ministerial Exchange visit summit this Tuesday to discuss ways of enhanced business cooperation.
Zimbabwe and Singapore have excellent political relations. And what we have discussed with the Honorable Minister is to start moving into economic cooperation, building upon our excellent political relations. In actual fact, we had a meeting in November with the ambassador of Singapore to Zimbabwe, talking about this whole thing of strengthening our economic relations.
Zimbabwe has already started tapping into the Singaporean horticulture market, and earlier this year the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade through Zimbabwe's Trade Promotion Body Zimtrade carried out a market scan in Singapore.
In March we sent Zimtrade here to do a market scan, and I'm happy to report that Zimbabwe is now exporting blueberries to Singapore. But we have discussed with the Honorable Minister a more a framework through which we have to relate, a more formalized framework, and one of them being the one on political consultations. We have sent an MOU to Singapore. We are looking forward to their reply, which the Honorable Minister promised to do in the shortest possible time.
Tourism and transport were also part of the agenda, and the ministers also discussed the possibility of Singapore Airlines extending its route to Zimbabwe, a move that could boost tourism and trade. Stanley James, ZBC News.
And that report there, our look at your business news. To the arts now, where gospel lovers from around the country have converged at Celebration Center for a show that is dubbed a night of worship, which is featuring Grammy Award-winning artist CeCe Winans. Just some moments ago, we had a chance to hear from our reporter Farai Gwaze, who was there.
A very warm welcome to all our 8 p.m. viewers. We're currently at the Celebration Center, where gospel lovers have gathered from in and around the country to appreciate American gospel superstar. 17-time Grammy Award-winning CeCe Winans was made her way into the country. And of course, excitement towards performances that will be held right here at the Celebration Center. An atmosphere of praise and worship is currently here. And also looking forward to the performances currently in preparation is Pastor Bonnie Dushel, who is taking the stage, and after that we'll be joined by gospel superstar Janet Manyoa, who will of course be ushering in CeCe Winans. And of course her coveted hit, The Goodness of God, seems to be able to speak monumentously to all those who have managed to come here today in an atmosphere of praise and worship. Well, that's all that we do have here for now. It's back to the studio.
Well, thank you very much, Farai, for that update. And with that story, we take a break. But when we come back, we'll have Anashe Murombezi giving us the latest in the world of sport. Stay tuned.
Good This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind on it, live the life that you remember. Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
The National Social Security Authority wishes to advise its valued pensioners that the Life Certificate Renewal Exercise for 2025 will be running from the 4th of August 2025 to the 31st of October 2025. Administration of life certificates will be done at various NASA regional, sub and satellite offices across the country. Pensioners are advised to utilize their nearest NASA offices for this exercise. Pensioners should come to NASA in person with original and copy of their national identity cards or a valid passport. Driver's license will not be accepted as proof of identity. Bedridden and grossly disabled pensioners will be visited by NASA in their respective homes. NASA will also visit selected POSB, NBS and ZimPost during the pensioner pay dates. Several local business centers and growth points will be visited by NASA on dates to be advised. Pensioners living outside Zimbabwe can download the life certificate on www.nasa.org.zw. Upon completion and certification, kindly email to nasalifecertificates@nasa.org.zw. Failure to renew a life certificate by the 31st of October 2025 will result in suspension of benefit payout. Secure your benefits payments by renewing your life certificate. NASA, a lifelong promise.
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anasham Roberts here with the latest in the world of sport. Now, defending champions Simba Bora are determined to retain the Premier Soccer League title after a rich vein of form that has seen them winning crucial matches.
Simba Bora have developed a reputation for doing things the hard way this season, with late goals becoming their trademark as they chase back-to-back titles. In a campaign that has tested their character, the Shamba-based outfit has repeatedly shown that they are never out of the game until the final whistle. From dramatic equalizers to last-gasp winners, Simba Bora's ability to turn matches around in dying minutes has kept their title hopes alive and sent a clear message to their rivals. Just last weekend, bottom-placed Kwekwe United made life difficult for Simba Bora at Wadzanai Stadium, only for veteran defender Webster Tafa to nod in after 84 minutes to give his team victory before they sealed it deep into added time. The Shamba-based side left it late again in the match against the early pacesetters Moza after new boy Tapiwa Mandinyanya found at the back of the net in added time to seal a 1-0 victory at Ngoni Stadium. The late goals seem not to be a fluke, but the latest chapter in a season defined by resilience and belief. It was the same for matches against Orientals and Highlanders as the champions fight to retain the champions tag. Simba Bora's late goal trend has ended them crucial points in tight fixtures, ensuring they remain firmly in the title race despite a slow start to the season. Their ability to handle pressure and find goals when it matters most mirrors the grit that saw them lift the league title last year. With just a few rounds left before the curtain comes down on the PSL season, the message from Simba Bora is clear: it's not over until it's over. Lawrence Trusida, ZBC News, Harare.
It was a good day for Zimbabwe at the ongoing Confederation of Southern African Schools Sports Association COSASA Games in Eswatini this Tuesday, despite trailing South Africa on the medals table.
Day 2 of the regional sporting showpiece saw South Africa giving Zimbabwe a formidable challenge in athletics. The South Africans, who are back at the games after several years, proved to be masters of the game, having included podium finishing athletes in their contingent. South Africa dominated the morning session, ending up with 35 medals, closely followed by Zimbabwe with 13 medals. Some of the gold medal winners for Zimbabwe include Patrick Ranzvenga, who crossed the line first in the 5,000 meter men's event. Praise God Nyamulepa was swept off the blocks to win the 200-meter event, while Blessmo Sibanda leapt the highest in the under-18 high jump.
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Amazing, it's great. Made the nation proud, got my medal. Yeah.
In the under-18 high jump, Blessmo Sibanda stole the show after he was the only man standing after the competition. Sibanda set a 205-meter Kosasa Games record, surpassing the record set by Takuzo Muchichwa.
I'm feeling very good to set the record.
Zimbabwe athletics coach Pakamilili Simati admits competition is stiff after the return of South Africa.
Today was a very competitive day for our team. South Africa dominated us mostly in almost all our track events, but we did crawl back towards the end of the day. As you can see, we have already grabbed 7 straight medals in a row, beating South Africa. I think the competition is quite tough and stiff, but it's healthy for the sport.
In other disciplines, Zimbabwe's under-14 soccer team got off to a flying start after dispatching Eswatini 3-0 in Manzini. A mother of all battles awaits Zimbabwe when they face netball power South Africa this Wednesday. Mtokozi Stube, ZBC News, Manzini.
Finally rewarded for his consistency after being named in the Chevron squad set to face Sri Lanka in the one-day international series, which gets underway on Friday at Harare Sports Club.
After years of hard work and persistence on the domestic circuit, Ernest Masuku has finally been rewarded with a call-up to the Zimbabwe national cricket team. This season, Disima, who has been a consistent performer in the Logan Cup and Pro 50 Championship, has been given a chance to showcase his talent at international level. This is not Masuku's first call-up to the national team, as was part of the limited over squad for the series against Namibia in 2022. Unfortunately, he failed to get a cap after being named as the 12th man of the series. Despite being on the fringes of the national team selection for a long time, he never gave up and consistently performed for Tuskers, especially in the Logan Cup. His breakthrough comes after a stellar domestic season where he finished among the leading wicket takers, proving his class and experience. The 33-year-old Masuku has 160 first-class wickets, but he only has 7 wickets in the National Premier League this season. Masuku is the only uncapped player called up for the Sri Lanka ODI series. Lawrence Truseda, ZBC News, Harare.
That's it from the Sports Corner. Weather report and focus is up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. Hope I find you well. We had a bit of cold conditions in just a few areas today, as mostly cool conditions spread across the country, and it was hot by afternoon with more of the windy conditions towards evening, more felt over Masvingo province as moist southeasterlies are drifting in from the southeast coast. So we still urge you that because of the hot conditions by day, please keep hydrated. These are the sunny conditions that were prevailing over much of the country. However, our cloud system is drifting in from the southeast, which we expect us to be affecting the southeastern parts of the country as we get into tomorrow. These are the clouds that are apparent there tomorrow over the southern parts of the country, covering Masvingo, Matabeleland South, and Manicaland. And we should have just brief cloudy periods of Manicaland as we get into Thursday, but mostly sunny skies into Friday. For tomorrow, we're expecting rather cool conditions across much of the country, with just clouds drifting into the Chirezi district as we get into the early hours of the morning. This should spread into the Masvingo province as well as Matabeleland South and Manicaland in the later parts of today. But for tomorrow, Bulawayo, under mostly sunny skies, should have a maximum of 32, which is on the hot category. And same for Matopo, we're expecting hot conditions by afternoon with a bit of cloudiness here and there. Same for Gwanda with a maximum of 32 as well. On temperature in the cool range for much of these areas. Same for Gweru, beginning off rather cool tomorrow, becoming warmer by the day. And for Masvingo, expecting warmer conditions as we get into the weekend, and it should get into the hot category by then. And for Nyanga, we're also expecting hot conditions as we get into the weekend. Very cold in the morning for Nyanga, and also for Marondera. Those are the few places that we're still expecting a bit of a chill, but the rest of the country we're expecting rather cool conditions across board. Harare also beginning off in the cool category, becoming hot by afternoon. Same for Kwekwe, we're expecting hot conditions by afternoon under mostly sunny skies. And for Kadoma, it should be hot as well. So we urge you that if you're outdoors, please keep hydrated. And if you have a sun hat, it's best to also wear one during the day. For Chinhoyi, we're expecting also sunny and hot conditions. Same for Victoria Falls, beginning off in the mild category in the morning and becoming warmer as the day progresses. And for Lupani, we're expecting it to be cooler first, becoming warmer as the day progresses as well. Pindura also in the cool category at first. Same for Kariba, which is mild at first, becoming hot by afternoon under mostly sunny skies. That's all for our weather and forecast. In a place in Zimbabwe, I'm James Ngoma Jr. for the MEC Department.
Meteorological Services Department with the weather, and that brings us to the end of the main news. Join us again tomorrow.
Good night.